Panama knocks the USMNT out of Concacaf Nations League. USA knocked out of Nations League by Panama in first competitive match under. Cecilio Waterman scored a stoppage-time winner as Panama stunned defending champions the United States 1-0 to book their place in the Concacaf Nations League final on Thursday. In a shock result that came in Mauricio Pochettino's first competitive match in charge of the United States, Waterman slammed home a low-angled finish in the fourth minute of stoppage time to send the holders crashing out at a half-empty SoFi Stadium. The result sends Panama into Sunday's final, where they will face either Mexico or Canada, who play in Thursday's other semifinal. But the defeat sends U.S. coach Pochettino back to the drawing board after a performance the Argentine described afterwards as really painful. "I am very, very disappointed," Pochettino said. "I could see that the way we approached the game and start wasn't in the right way. We didn't show aggression with the ball, we didn't show aggression in a defensive way. The first half was really painful," the former Tottenham, Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea coach added. Despite dominating possession, the U.S. struggled to break down a resilient Panama side for long periods. Norwich striker Josh Sargent came closest to breaking the deadlock early on, his 19th-minute shot being deflected towards goal by Panama central defender Edgardo Farina. The U.S. failed to make the most of another opening 2 minutes later, Tim Weah picking out Weston McKennie with a curling cross to the back post only for the Juventus midfielder's header to be well saved by Panama goalkeeper Orlando Mascara. The U.S. thought the early spell of pressure had earned them a goal in the 25th minute when Sargent swept a low shot emphatically into the bottom corner, but it was flagged for offside. Pochettino brought on striker Patrick Agyemang for Sargent and midfielder Jack McGlynn on for Tanner Tessman in the 67th minute, and the changes looked to have given the U.S. more thrust. Agyemang came agonizingly close to opening the scoring in the 82nd minute after latching on to McKennie's through ball, but his low shot was palmed away by Mascara. He also went close 2 minutes from time but miscued his shot from Christian Pulisic's low cross, scooping it over the bar. Then, with extra time looming, disaster struck for the hosts. USMNT vs. Panama Nations League semi-final community player ratings. The competitive portion of the Mauricio Pochettino era got off to a rough start on Thursday night with a 1-0 loss to Panama in the Nations League semi-final match, knocking the USMNT out of contention for a trophy and sending them to the third-place match against the loser of the Canada v Mexico. The U.S. had 67% of possession and outshot Panama 12-3, but the one shot the U.S. put in the net was called back due to an obvious offsides, and the one shot Panama put on target ended up in the back of the net with a minute left in the match. The attack was without end product, and the defense tripped up at the most inopportune of times. Following a loss, ratings are typically quite rough, and tonight likely won't be an exception after such a disappointing performance, but we have to select a SSFC man of the match. So who do you have? 'Cause instead of giving you our player ratings, we want to know what you think. Below is a ratings form for you to fill out with ratings for each USMNT player's performance. Through a day/night of voting, we'll tabulate the ratings and reveal them with the top-rated player being named Stars and Stripes FC's man of the match. Feel free to head down to the comments section and leave your thoughts on the match as a whole or give your detailed explanation of your ratings. USMNT is stunned by Panama again as Americans' Concacaf Nations League reign ends. Inglewood, California. For the second time in less than a year, Panama stunned the United States men's national team in tournament play. But unlike last summer's loss to Los Canaleros in the first round of the U.S.-hosted Copa America, Thursday's loss in Concacaf Nations League semi-final guarantees that the Americans will not claim the title of a competition they'd won 3 straight times from 2021 to 2024. "I am very, very disappointed because I think the way that we approached the game and started the game wasn't in the right way," USMNT coach Mauricio Pochettino said after the 1-0 loss on Cecilio Waterman's goal with 1 minute of second-half stoppage time to go. "We need to find a way to compete better." Here are 3 quick thoughts on the match. Play of the game. Off a U.S. turnover deep in their own end, Waterman scored in the 4th minute of second-half stoppage time, beating Matt Turner with a low shot to the far post. "Not great," Turner said. "We lose 3 duels in a row and they find some space and we're a step behind everywhere and it's a good finish. I'll look at myself. I think we'll all look at ourselves and see what we can do better." To a man, the U.S. players blamed their lack of urgency. That's a problem that has plagued the program regularly since the 2022 World Cup, costing then-coach Greg Berhalter his job following the Copa America debacle. Turning point. The U.S. controlled play in the first half and had 3 golden opportunities to take the lead. 2 came just before the 20-minute mark. First, Josh Sargent's deflected shot beat Panama keeper Orlando Mosquera but not the post. Then Mosquera stopped a point-blank header by Weston McKennie off a pinpoint cross from Tim Weah. Key stat. The U.S. enjoyed almost 70% of the ball and completed more than twice as many passes as Panama, 645 to 320, but still couldn't score. We have the control, we have the possession, we have the passes. But we didn't use it, Pochettino said. These numbers mean that you could win the game, but you don't win because it's not like another sport. In soccer, the opponent can have one shot on target and score.